The US president says the shooting rampage in Afghanistan that left 16 civilians dead has made him even more determined to get US troops out. But Barack Obama's also warning against a rush to the exit. Meanwhile, Pentagon officials have rejected calls for a public trial in Afghanistan. They say the American soldier being held over the killings will be prosecuted by the military and could face the death penalty. North America correspondent Craig McMurtry reports.
Bodies in blankets on the back of trucks, threats of revenge attacks. This man says he's ready to join the Taliban, asking how come an infidel went to the house of Muslims and massacred children and women.
Terrible. Awful. I can't even imagine the impact on the families.
White House officials say the deadline for a 2014 security handover hasn't changed. But later Barack Obama signalled a hardening in his view that it's time for US troops to leave.
It makes me more determined to make sure that we're getting our troops home. Right. It's time. It's been a decade. And, frankly, now that we've gotten bin Laden, now that we've weakened al-Qaeda, we're in a stronger position to transition than we would have been 2 or 3 years ago.
The 38-year-old US Army sergeant being held in custody over the killing of 16 civilians, most of them women and children, has served 3 tours in Iraq. He's a trained sniper. This was his first assignment in Afghanistan. Locals in the Kandahar region, like this member of the Provincial Council, are demanding a public trial in Afghanistan. This man says if he did this deliberately, he should be punished with death. But the Pentagon insists it will investigate and lead any prosecution.
This individual will be investigated and the outcome will be in accordance with US law.
The commanding general calls the shooting rampage a setback and tragedy. But General John Allen also says it's an isolated act and the NATO campaign in Afghanistan will remain on track. President Karzai says it's unforgivable. The shooting rampage has complicated talks on a partnership agreement to be presented to a NATO summit in Chicago in May. The Afghan parliament is calling for negotiations to halt until Washington agrees that the shooter will face justice in Afghanistan. Craig McMurtry, ABC News, Washington.